seen. How's it going? How's it going? See what's up, what's up. Trying to make this thing happen. I'll be here for an hour tonight. Sal's coming back. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff to look into. Let's see what we're working with. See if anybody's out there tonight. See what we're doing tonight. See what we got tonight. See what we're talking about. Live and in color tonight. See how y'all feeling tonight. See what we doing tonight. What's up? What's up? How you doing? What's happening? What's happening? You came on at the right time. I'm gonna create this poll. You ready for this question? See how you doing. What's up? Buck dancing on court and fields. Who you got in mind? Who you got in mind when you say that? Do tell. Who? Okay, when you say that though, who you got in mind though? Do tell. Who comes to mind? I want to know. Because when you say that off court and field till your stats will go down, don't like Bundan and shift karma. Oh, well, he's playing he's in a situation because that he's the first brother that's won multiple Super Bowls and been in this position. And he's an odd situation because he is like a company man, so he's not really he and again, he come from a different time with it too. He's not going to really he said some things. He said a couple things, but he's not going to really get nudged on it. But I got a feeling like Derek Jeter, when he retires, he'll probably be he won't be able to shut him up. Not all the picks are his fault, but the fact they 4-0, and they really don't have what I call a top flight receiver. And Kelsey's looking old, so the fact is that they still, you know, says a lot. I know he's been throwing picks. I mean, some of it though, a couple of them weren't his fault. That one in Cincinnati, that was a great interception. So if you say so. So I did answer. Two Raw had that video. Y'all gonna get hoodwinked by Kirk Cousins again. I be telling you that him and PG-13 are the same person. And you really getting excited about that? Faker blowing the game. They should have won that game. Nobody played no defense. Yeah, it was. If you like no scoring, and I guess for a Thursday night game, it was a great game for a Thursday night game. But Atlanta, Tampa Bay usually ain't gonna be must see TV. But that shows you how far the NFL has sunk. That Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield got your interest. We know in the know that those two scrubs can't wait to start choking. I like it when it's legit teams. I do too. But those teams ain't legit. I'm not buying Tampa Bay, and I'm not buying Atlanta. Atlanta's fun, and Tampa Bay got more talent. But the locks of them together, somewhere between 8 to 10 wins and a first round knockout. Tampa Bay got spanked by Denver, and I can't let that escape. The Atlanta beating is one thing. To lose to Denver with Bo Nixon and the Tampa Bay, and Atlanta go, um, Kirk Cousins gonna do Kirk Cousin things. Oh yeah, tell your barber it's true. We can bring him come on here, talk about it all the time. It cringy. It's cringy. It's cringy because there's a lot of them that really don't belong in there starting. A lot of them. Anybody coming through, please hit that like. Burn up them likes. What's up? What's happening? How you doing? Smash that like up for me. It is bad. I mean, Jackson, you got donut teams. You got blown assignments, poor tackling. Oh, he got alleged essay. Google it. I can't say it, but it's alleged essay with his former makeup. Him and Trisha Year with his wife happened in 2019, and I thought I would add some flavor to it because just see how the Garth lovers would feel. If there's any Garth Brooks lovers, come on through. Friends in low places. I got nothing to say about him. You know, it's bad. It's bad. It's it's one of them things that if you didn't see it 5 years ago, and I hate to say it, his peak was when he played Mahomes in the AFC Championship game. I don't know what that means in English, but I have access. Okay. I like this troll. Nice trolling. Why are you shocked? Why are you shocked? What made you shocked? He lost 2 years of his life. One of them on his own accord, and the other because I don't know what kind of suspension it was. And his rhythm is off. I mean, his cadence is way off. Well, let me put it to you like this: Jacoby Brissett, the Patriots quarterback, right? Who's what I call a third tier. That's a second tier and can look like a first tier. Is better than him right now. I'd say Watson because you're gonna always say a quarterback. You'll never say a running back. Quarterback always. Quarterback will always take the bigger fall. But even if he don't mount it, now look at Jamarcus Russell. Quarterback's always gonna win that argument. Sad to say, because you depend on a quarterback. That's just how it rolls. It's almost like a lead singer of a group. I know you don't care about the third or fourth member; they're important, but yeah, I liked his stutter step. I never seen another running back that would stop, dink, and move. But when he left, that was the dumbest move he made. He was never the same. And then he became a bellhop, literally for every team. Poor guy. So, in case you didn't know, I did the Buck Showalter about the Mets. I do think there's something to that. If they end up winning, remember what I said. Everybody who leaves, time he leaves, the team gets good. The Mets looking pretty good right now. But again, if you like that game last night, more power to you. I mean, it was entertaining, and I'd like to see. I'm glad to see. It was great to see two African American head coaches going against each other. That was cool. But I'm not sold on either one of those two teams, though. Favorite? I mean, Albert Pujols. Come on now, Albert Pujols. So, depends on how old you are. and where you grew up. Back in the day, if a National League dude went to American League, you think he was just gonna clobber being a DH too. And he went over there, and he wasn't the half of what he was in St. Louis. It's almost like he got divorced and got zapped, and playing with Trout. So it was a disappointment, considering that he's an all-time great. So if he had been half as good as he was in St. Louis, that's all. But I wouldn't call it a big fall from grace. I mean, the man did win, and White had a career and stuff. That's some pretty strong words. I mean, I really won't say, because when you say fall from grace, it's almost like the turkey went obsolete and couldn't get a job again. You know, I mean, heck, Ben Simmons gets a job, so that's not a fall from grace. But when a cat don't ever even suit up, or he's not even booted up, that's like, what happened? So, but I understand what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. I get it in totality. So, anyway, keep on with some questions now. I see some more viewers coming through. Feel free to hit them likes. Come on through and participate. We'll welcome you in. I heard about that. You know, um, I don't know why it's such a big deal. I don't know why it's such a big deal. Did she get past the first round? No. So why should she get it? You know, if she had gotten and she didn't look so bad in that last series just now, maybe she gets it. She didn't get it. I figured he would be though. I cringe at what he's become, but that's what he has to do. That's what they want from him. So pretty much, just like in Goodfellas, go get your shine box. That's pretty much what they're saying. It's a sad commentary too, because he hit his highs just about 7 8 months ago, and he didn't just skid it to whatever they want. Basically, he didn't became a junior whopper Stephen A. Smith. That's what it is. So it's tough to watch that show. It's about near unbearable. That's what we're dealing with. What'd you think? What did you think? I told you the people had me in stitches. I thought about you too, because there were some real cool comments. Probably the best message that I read. That first statement had me like, yeah, he did like Brett Favre, because Jordan Love was slinging it. But mind you, we're in an era now where you can have games like that because teams don't play no defense. They play prevent D, so you can get hot, you can get hot. I mean, let's be realistic. Look at what we're dealing with for a moment. We got Sam Darnold and Jordan Love battling, and we got Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield. Three of them four guys were bumming it for or slumming or hustling. Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and Kirk Cousins. He shouldn't be worried about losing his job. He just gotta play consistent. That's all. You know, I think he'll be okay. Well, I think it's because you're playing the Vikings. I understand it. You were playing Minnesota, and there's some about Minnesota that looks kind of freaky right now. So I get why they LaFleur wanted to bring him back. I get it, because if Malik stinks it up, and you almost won the game. Actually, you could have won the game if Poochie don't shank them kicks. You win. They didn't drop the ball. They never had the ball. They wouldn't know a good quarterback would hit them in their behind That's why the stupidity that they. That's why DeAndre Hopkins got that plea. I wonder where Devontae Adams talking about. Get out. What DeAndre Hopkins talking about? You don't know what it is, but you can't hear you the same on my phone. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, if you have a good kicker, you win that game. You win that game. If you have a good kicker, you win that game. Cause it's bad. Cause as great as Minnesota played the first half, they were ready to give you the game. I've seen that a lot this year. You remember that LA Rams Detroit game, same thing. One team plays great one half, the other team plays great the other half. I don't understand it. It's uncanny. It's the most unusualist football I've seen that way. They got some defensive parity, pretty bad. Everybody coming through, please hit that like. Please hit that like. Yeah, it's like the NBA when everybody can shoot a three, but they can't shoot a 12-foot, 10-foot shot. That's the same thing. I've been saying that. Or it's like an infielder who can make the long throw from midfield, but he can't make a throw to third base from second. Fundamentals. I tell you all the time, fundamentals are lacking. That's what it is. We live in a very fundamentally flawed era. Everything is pushed over muscle and brawn, and everything is pushed over uh, athleticism and that, but it's not fundamentals. Yeah, but the way they're doing the kickoff, I mean, everybody can kick a 50, 65, 60 yard kick now almost, but they can't make field, they can't make extra points. So I think you got a problem. I remember when he did it, it wasn't a lot of people like that. Remember, he was a top 10 draft pick out of Florida State. And he had some of them Garth Brooks issues too, I think. But if you were Florida State, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, something went on there. Keep on hitting that like, hitting that light. Got more viewers coming through. Appreciate everybody who's coming through. And if you got any questions, you want to talk about whatever, feel free. We talking about football right now. We can talk about baseball. We can talk about, I guess the NBA is coming up soon. Want to talk about music? Hmm. Music off the scenes, movies. I don't know. Whatever you want to get to. I gotta say, Dick LeBeau. LeBeau did a lot more for me. Kiffin's bad though, but Dick LeBeau got has a certain standard with that a little bit more. That's a real odd question because I never get asked about those two. Good question though. Garth Brooks is up to 10 votes. Look at that 10. And 50-50. People are split. Who are the 10 that expect Garth Brooks to have the same treatment as Diddy? Who? I, you know what? If it's called Above the Rim, I guess that's gonna be kind of hard to beat. You know, that's when Death Row was at its apex. Tupac was on that, and they couldn't do no wrong back then. Well, I'm surprised you didn't say Space Jam because they don't have I Believe I Could Fly on this on the Above the Rim. I like listening to it more, but the Space Jam had it I Believe I Could Fly. Well, I probably listen to the Above the Rim one for more of the groove, but I Believe I Could Fly was the song that transcended. So just saying, there is no right or wrong answer. I never really get asked about basketball movie soundtracks. At least you didn't. At least you didn't mention Eddie or Whoopi Goldberg with the New York Nick one. That was crazy. Or what's that one? Sunset Park. Now you going back? You know what? You was very much aware of your '90s. That's what it was. The '90s basketball soundtracks were. That was the thing. Mm, that was the thing. See more people coming through, so feel free to hit it and come on through. We're now up to 11 votes with Garth Brooks, and it's 55 say no, 45 say yes. 45% say they. This is closer than I think. Unless y'all think the justice system didn't change, you really think Garth Brooks gonna get treated like Diddy? Like they're gonna come and take his cowboy hats away? Hmm. Yeah. So what happened was, thanks. I had gotten that information slid to me, and I read it, and of course yeah, I'm like Luke Braun. I said, you that turkey that's like the broke Blake Shelton on the broke Junior Whopper Idol with Lionel and Katy Perry. I said, you ain't. I said, what do you mean come here and be like us? I said, oh, you're the opposite of Kendrick. You want her to be like us. I'm like, wow, this guy's tripping. He's really tripping. I wouldn't. I'll say this. I don't know if I say she's being bullied, but she's being racially profiled, which is dumb because music is music, and for someone to say what he said, that's insulting. I mean, she grew up in the South. What the heck is he talking about? He comes across like some actor that really went to Princeton that's masquerading as he's from Tennessee or something. I'm like, what the heck is he talking about? It's very offensive. Very. So 58 says no now. Okay, it's coming up. Okay. Okay. Checking everything out. Things are starting to warm up. That's pretty good. I went in not knowing how this thing would turn out with Garth Brooks, but I went with the gut. You know, just wanted to see what the pulse of the people is, what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Keep on asking those questions. That's interesting. I might have to use that the next time we go live. If you're thinking Beyonce's being bullied, I say more like profile. I don't think. I think there's a kind of like people kind of don't want her to, you know, it's hitting kind of different, scaring some folks too. Let's see what we got. Come on now, feel free to keep asking questions. We're live. Let me know what's on your mind. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. As I say before, I'll come live. Everybody who gets notified and wants to talk, let's talk. Because the more you give me and that you bring yourself, I will come live more. Only if I see that, people coming through, because I welcome it. There's a lot to discuss. Some people are talking about Kamala Harris. Oh, yeah. So some people are talking about John Amos. Some people are talking about, um, yeah, John Amos this week. Mhm. Right about now, I would say the Triple Crown. I think basketball numbers are getting kind of inflated. I mean, if someone averages 30 points and have a triple double, they better win it all. And then that'll be impressive. If they don't get past the second round, no one's buying it as impressive now. So I have to say Triple Crown. There's a time that would have been a compelling question. But the way they watered down everything today, it's kind of hurt the cause. 14 votes so far. 57 say no, 43 say yes. Okay. I don't expect Garth Brooks to get treated like Diddy. I'm amazed when I see things even that close. If you ask me, I'd say people like 90-10, but no one asked me though. Well, it depends on what they're gonna. So Michael Vick, I did a video about Vick. Vick was on Sway, and he also talked about the history, Arlen Briscoe, and he talked about Doug Williams, and yeah, he didn't participate though, and there was never anything that was leaked about him doing anything. He went looking for Beyonce. I remember that, but there was never anything about anything that substantiate him doing anything beyond that. Oh yeah, they all go through it. They all do. Lamar Jackson goes through it right now. He probably was, but I don't know in context to what he was doing. Again, could be at the parties. That doesn't mean he was participating in the after parties or doing any of the other stuff. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Who you think I got? Just because I don't have my Bills hat on? I never root against my team. I would imagine they would. But if you don't know me, of course I'm picking the Bills. They better win that game, though. It's gonna be a tough game. CJ Stroud is nice, and Diggs is gonna be pumped and amped. It's a big test for Buffalo. Oh yeah. Listen, I will be the first to tell you this. We got the toughest time beating Patrick Mahomes, and we don't stack up well against Cincinnati. So we got some work to do. But I do believe and I'm always talking about the coach, talking about the adjustments they got to make. The way they lost to Baltimore was a smash mouth that I saw way Cincinnati beat us up in Buffalo. Derrick, you can't have Derrick Henry running like that. It's not just him. It's not just him. They got to fundamentally get another playmaker receiver. They got to utilize running the game a lot more. James Cook, and they got another piece back there. The defense got to learn how to tackle on the line. To get manhandled, you can't get manhandled like that. You can't have Derrick Henry bust a 80 plus on you first play. It's the same fundamental problems that they've had. It's been covered up because Josh plays hero ball and they beat up on a lot of tomato can teams and they can play good against teams. But when they get smashed and punched in the mouth, they get punched. And Derrick Henry's been a problem for years. That's not something that's just started. So I didn't take them seriously as no Super Bowl threat. I thought they were good, but I wasn't hyped behind the 3-0. Ain't beat nobody. If I sit up here and I tell you it don't count, I mean what I say. Beating Arizona, Miami, and Jacksonville did not count. It counts as far as wins and losses, but it didn't count to me in terms of the totality of the big picture. You hear me say something don't count? Everybody coming through, please hit that likes too, please. Well, the only thing I know is if he was at the parties, it depends on what he partook in. But where there's smoke, there's fire. He's friends with Jay Z. He's friends with Beyonce. Friends with Diddy. And everybody, people being mighty quiet now. People know they look good against Seattle, and I'm going to give it to Jared Goff. Jared Goff has impressed me. I didn't see that coming when the Rams traded him. He's poised in Detroit. He's got tough. What's so funny? What's so funny? About what I said about LeBron? Tell me what's so funny. They're gonna want that to go away, but it's gonna linger. That's why I think those last 2 years in LA is gonna be all his career. As a matter of fact, he gonna wish he wasn't in LA if that thing comes back to home, come back to home. I'm just saying. 18 votes. 61% say no. 40 was it? Yeah, 40. 61. So that means 39. Okay. Um, I don't know. Biggie ain't getting no justice. Pac will. Biggie ain't getting no justice. Biggie only gets justice if they connect the dots. That's gonna be tough. And I don't think they really want to connect the dots. I don't think they care about neither one of them. I think Keefe D will have to toe that line, even though he does look vindicated where Puffy is. But I don't think they care about that. I don't think they care about that. But I do find it ironic that Suge Knight and Puffy are both locked up, and they were the ones that were pushing these cats. Were giving the money to mask the labels, and it's interesting, ain't it? Just saying, you know. So it's a very telling. I will believe it when I see it. I would like to think they both get it, but it's a roundabout way of what they're doing. I'm one of those kind of people. I still believe because uh, Puffy said the wrong thing, messed with that liquor, and people done with him. Because I mean, he was. There's nothing different. He been wilding forever and a day. Keep on hitting those likes. Please keep on hitting those likes. See more people coming through, so feel free. He's always been accused of something. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. That I've been trying to do a video about that, but there's always been something with him. I mean, that's not a shock. Show me a boxer that's had success that something like that don't come out of, and I'll show you a milkman that uh, doesn't carry bottles. Show me. It's like saying a milkman doesn't carry bottles or doesn't carry milk. Come on now, that's pretty predictable with boxers. My criteria was a super team. Great question. So I'll break it to you like this: the Temptations in music were a super group. New Edition was a super group. When you got 4 or 5 people that are deep, and you can go, you know them, and they respectability. Um, the 49ers in the 80s, the Steelers in the 70s. Some may have said that the Golden State Warriors that won in 2017, 20, but if Durant stays, you can make that case. They don't do it in a hurry though. So let me explain that one, Ted. That's the what you're saying. Let me debate that. Puffy fits that criteria. What they do is they wing them around for a long time. Some of them who don't really have any financial gain, they unload or they downplay. They get into third, fourth tier spin. But the ones that they can soup up and make a lot of money off, they last, and then they spring them when they want to spring them. That's why I told you Puffy's one because you see how eh, he did it, and he did bop his head, and he got his wake up call. But his is a different ball game than Puffy. His is a whole different. Because one thing about Juice, I never felt that there was any other agenda, if you know what I mean. That was the difference with Juice, and and he was tailor made for more middle of the road. It was a whole different situation. Yeah, but I don't know about Floyd. I mean, I don't know. Do I look at them as a super team? They went to 4 finals and won 2 out of 4. How do I compare them to Curry, Clay, Durant, Draymond? If you want to put that on comparison, who was more of a super team? Was Miami more of a super team, or was Golden State more of a super team? That's the question. That might be a question I might have to put up. Well, they three-peated with MJ, Pippen, Rodman, Magic, Kareem, and Worthy went to. You could say that. Well, no, because I'm gonna address that to you. What you just said about them the last and not saving the money. Oh, Puffy saved his money. They just don't got no use for him because he started costing them money. That's the difference. He got money and he ain't gonna have no money. That's the difference. Well, they were a dynasty. I don't know if I call it a dream team, a super team, because a super team they didn't have when they got Karl Malone and Gary Payton, they were old. And I don't look at them as like who all did they have that you sit there and you debate as an all time great? That's exactly right, Ted. And I'm gonna tell you something. That's the ones who end up getting caught going, oh, they won one title, 2 finals. Now, I think if you catch them in their peak in their prime, they went to 2 finals, won one chip. don't quite look at them as a super team. And don't forget Rondo, because Rondo was one of the three best point guards back then. It all depends on what your criteria of a super team is. If I'm going to be honest with you, Shaq and Kobe were a dynamic duo. Shaq and Wade had a moment, but LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh, and then Curry, Durant, and Clay, and that's it. The last one to make your criteria is Golden State. That's it. Nobody since. Now we're gonna see what happens with Brown and Tatum and them. What Boston can win a ring or two more, but that's it. Golden State's the last of the hoorah. Like I said, Boston's been to two finals in the past 3 or 4 years. So if they can win another ring or two, then you can make a case for them. But that's it. Actually, the Brown Tatum situation got a chance to catch the KG and Pierce one. You're gonna ask me that question, and I'm gonna give you my answer. 99-00 Shaq. Because for a big man, I almost averaged 30 points a game, rebounds dominate, 67 win team, bringing in a top tier coach and capping it off the way he did. I'd have to say Shaq, clearly. And Bird was bad back then, but Shaq was on another level. That version of Shaq was one of the greatest seasons ever. Yeah, Bird, Parrish, McHale, Johnson. They, but that didn't. They went to four straight finals, so yeah, that was a super team, unlow key. Bill Walton wasn't Bill Walton like that. Yeah, he was incredible. He was incredible in 2000. I like Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson was one of the most underrated players ever because they three-peated. But I don't look at them as a super team. Jordan, Pip, Rodman, but I don't look at them as a super team. They won. But do I look at them and say, oh, how they would have fared against some of these others? They were dominant for their era. Dominant for their era. Yeah, I remember because it was Nick Charles who didn't give it to him, and he was mad. Shaq took it personal. Yep. Hmm. I remember. He was unstoppable. Scary. They were a great regular season team. Great win. Okay, 86 Celtics versus who wins? Depends on the rules, Ted. All comes to the rules. He did. He did. He's probably one of five guys I could say in one season they could have gotten unanimous. And I don't say that about too many. There's only a handful I could have said about. That's why to me he's top five ever. I know it's not fashionable to give Shaq high rank, and anyone who tries to downplay it is gonna say he didn't do this, he didn't do that. But what he did do, they had to change the rules because he dominated. They changed the rules. They allowed flopping and acting, and you knew you had a center, you had to commit all those fouls. I would have said Jordan, Shaq. For me, yeah, as a center. But I think you get more out of Kareem overall as a player. But Shaq, as far as the center and the actual low post, not a lot more, but a few. Let me answer this question up above: 86 Celtics or the 17 Warriors? Who wins? And we're going by today's rules. Hmm. It's gonna be tough for this Golden State because of that front court. McHale was a Herman monster, and Parrish, I don't know. Because Andrew Bogut, you need another piece there. I don't know. I don't know. Best season was probably the early 80s. I think the 86 Celtics, I think that the 10, because what people don't realize, Bird could go coast to coast and he could shoot. And Dennis Johnson was a legit guard on that perimeter. So I don't know. Magic's to me was probably about, I want to say, it's the early 80s one. I can't think offhand, but he had a really great season. I think about, I think when he won his second MVP. I'm taking Bird, mental tangibles. KD can stretch you out, but after that, what else can he do better than Bird? Bird was a rebounder and assist man, and led breaks and led teams. Played well off the ball. Wasn't scared to be an enforcer. Yeah, if and the thing about McHale and Paris, they could perimeter because McHale would take you out 10, 15 feet. That's the problem Golden State would run into. Gotta have a score. Curry gonna get DJ, but DJ can be a problem on him. But again, the way Curry makes you have to fold top of the key you're in for, you have to play him a full court. I don't know. Not too many people can touch that. 63% say no, by the way, in case y'all wondering what the latest is. Yeah, and that's one, two, three, four, five. So Curry would have one of the. He would easily be top six or one of the 10 best of that. So yeah, Danny. You mean Danny Ainge? He one of them. He one of them. I mean, his contributions in the postseason is and what he did with Seattle and Phoenix. I mean, I don't know who he ticked off, but he got he never got his due. Yeah, when the Sonics won. But you see, when you talk about that finals, that's almost like if I mentioned beta to you or VHS tapes, and you weren't around to experience the video recorder, that's gonna sound like a whole another world. Keep hitting them likes up. Keep hitting those likes up. We got 19 votes in so far for Garth Brooks. Keep them coming. See if y'all got friends in low places. Yeah, I agree with those seasons though. But there's only a handful of people that you can make that case about. Well, you could always throw Will Chamberlain, 62. That's one of the best seasons ever. There's probably about, and Curry gets his one. There's probably about 10 guys you can make that case for. Well, not really, because Tiny Archibald wasn't Tiny Archibald. They didn't get the Tiny Archibald from the Kansas City Kings. They got him when he was older, but he was a good fit, but he wasn't that dude because they wanted the attention. You gotta remember, they did have attention. Um, they were second most famous behind quarterbacks on teams. You think about it. When you played for the Dallas Cowboys, Emmitt Smith was known. Yeah, I don't. Bo's just a regular dude. I don't really look at Bo like that. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Bo was actually the way he was. He did speak up a long time ago about prison, and he was out. He spoke up about some things. So I never got no. He just was popular. Like I will say this. I know it might not be fashionable to say. You can be black and just be popular off the jump. That don't mean you sold out or that you was, shuffling. You were popular. Bo was one of those people. Like if I did a topic about who was black and popular, yeah, he was just popular. He was respected in college and he was insanely popular. It's kind of like if someone came into me about Michael Jackson. I mean, well, the Jackson 5 had four straight number one songs when it first came out. So when did he actually shuffle when he was insanely popular off the word jump? Some people got it like that. Some got it like that. There's the ones that you know. But like Eddie Murphy was insanely popular off the word jump. There's just some people they are like that. He wasn't the same Tiny that he was when he led the league in scoring and assists, though. That's the point I'm trying to say. and he wasn't seen as the fixture as the point guard at that time. He was still respected, but he wasn't that dude. Yeah. Um, Ricky was just corny. He was corny. He ain't like get high. Shady definitely does a lot of acting on TV. Ricky, well, Ricky. I think I don't want to say. I don't. I want to say there was some chemical imbalances there with Ricky. Dion was the most accomplished, but not the best. Bo was better, but Dion was bad. Dion put the work in. Yeah, yeah, he just got hurt. That was it. If he's healthy, we're having a different discussion about him. If he's healthy, he's either a baseball Hall of Famer or a football Hall of Famer. That's how great he was. I have not seen anybody match what he did. Now Herschel Walker was a credible athlete too, but he was like bobsledding and running track and field and football. But it didn't go into that. But Dion won on a big level. So no, he played offensive defense. He was a great safety and he was a good receiver. He ran great routes. What you seen? No, I never. Infinity, you a mess. That's hilarious. Oh, that would be hilarious. But it does take friends in low places to another level, though. Francona can manage. He's a really legit manager. I remember when Dion was playing, and he was incredible. He was incredible. And like I said, he made himself into a really good receiver. He's a great kickoff return man. You know, he was something else. I was a big fan of Dion. One of the greatest football players I've ever seen in my life. Top five ever. But if you're asking me, was he a better two-way sport athlete than Bo Jackson? I'm gonna tell you no. Because if Bo don't get hurt, Bo was a better baseball player and he was a scary football player. I'm just gonna keep it 100. But Dion, because he impacted the way he did and the way he changed the position in the secondary, that's it. Some people it's kind of hard to fathom if that's true. Well, the Reds pretty much feel they're close, so well, I don't really keep up with Dion outside of what he do because Dion likes to associate with everybody, and I don't understand the Ryan Garcia love affair that some of these cats got with. That guy said more than enough. But then again, these same people will sit there and tap and clap for Conor McGregor. So you tell me something I don't know. I don't know. Cats want to be loved and accepted and patted on the head like a poodle. So I don't know. And get offended if you call them out on it. I don't know. I don't know. It is. That's why I don't really. I talk about them, but I don't have anything to say because what I always tell you, I separate the two. I respect people's God given talents and what they do, but I don't know them. I tell all the time, I don't know these people. So when you hear about them doing this or that, and if you ever watch the Love Boat and they're like Isaac on the shuffleboard going, they're grinning and happy. I mean, you can smile at people, but all that teeth, like, I don't know what they're doing. It's not weak. It's because they playing a game. The weakness is when they start allowing themselves to be diddled, diddled. That's where the weakness comes in. But the game that's taught is acting. Um, yeah, I got a problem with that. When you see him like the used car, something like, I'm like, what are you grinning? And that used to be something that would bug me. That was the sign. So Jay Will, yeah, Atlanta and Tampa Bay played a no defense. If you like Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield, that's the standards of today. That's what you got. Neither one of them teams are Super Bowl worthy, but yeah. What do you mean by a different set of rules? It's always a popularity contest too, and who can sell tickets and the money maker. So tell me what you mean when you say a different set of rules. Strategy, strategy. There's strategic. There's a strategicness to it. I liked it a lot more when I was growing up than what it became. But it's a strategy to it. Keep hitting those likes up. Keep hitting those likes up. Yeah, cerebral and physical. That's a good way of putting it. There's a lot going on. People like the bruteness of it. They like to, but they like the flamboyance of it. It's a dual thing going on. It's a lot of theater. I'll give you a case in point. Muhammad Ali was one of those people that taught me about the theater of it, and so did Sugar Ray Leonard and others. Yeah, you ain't lying. Cause that last fight I saw, that didn't last long. You got that right, cause Mike Tyson, right on, Jay Will. You ain't lying. I don't know nowhere else Mike Tyson could have said the half the stuff he said. The half, the half. We would be cracking our sides up because he be using all kinds of big words and be wrong and just be saying all kinds of what he gonna do, and you just like, and he just go on a rant. Well, you need a hype man. That's not gonna be the Bills' problem against Texans. What they gotta do is figure out how to stop the run, and they gotta make C.J. Strand. They gotta actually make him try to air his arms out. Don't let him pick them apart over the middle. Don't let him dink and dunk or you know the drop stack. So it's not going to be a game that Von Miller was necessarily going to make an impact either. I know some people are going to think, oh, if you had Von Miller. No. Von Miller was there last week. How that work? Derrick Henry pieced him out. He said, peace. Come on now. Boxers are scared. Mike Tyson said he was scared of his fights. But you psychologically, when you're in a ring, you're picking up on the nature of who you're going against. Yeah, he's out. And it's a dumb suspension, too, because they could have done it at the start of the season. Why they decided to do it now, I don't even know. But to be honest with you, he's been good with the Bills, but he ain't been great. He's had a few moments, but we didn't get Von Miller from 5, 6 years. We got him probably about a couple years late. It is. Some of them are, but some of them can be real strategic, especially if you've got style differentials. But that's a good analogy. It is a microcosm of life. That's a good point. Yep, I can agree with that. 21 votes so far. 67% say no. So, okay. That's going more like I think. That's more like it. The more those votes come in, the more I think it's gonna be like that. No one's expecting Garth Brooks to even so much even sniff a courtroom or you know. All right, keep up with the questions. Just waiting and waiting and waiting. and keep hitting the likes up. Got more people coming through. See what we're looking at. Now, I did like BB a lot though. It's funny you mentioned it, but no. But I do like BB. I did like BB. He was tough. He was tough. He was tough. But Tasker was my favorite though. BB went to five straight Super Bowls. So that Green Bay went to five Super Bowls. But Steve Tasker was a beast though. Uh, I'm starting. I'm gonna start Wade because that Wade was unstoppable. Mm, I would bench Penny and then I'd cut Kobe. The 2002 Kobe was coming into anything goes in boxing because it no longer has those. Yeah, but the problem is we don't have no boxing that we get excited about. That's the problem. That's the downside to it, and it shows too. I don't care. Yeah, G. Well, that was a great question. Had to think about it for a moment, but yeah, I'd have to start Wade that time. Wade was unstoppable. I mean, and Penny was see because Kobe to me he played up in that Philly series, but it was the one against the next year in '02. That's where he really went up another gear. And then '03 he got better and better, except the '04 last year. He never was better than Shaq when they were together though. I'm just gonna say, yeah, you can tell Baker I say so. And he if they had they won, history would have looked at him differently. I liked his movements. I thought his cadence decision maker. One of the best teams ever. I'm not gonna call them the best team ever. One of them, because there's teams that's got a debate in that conversation, but one of the best teams ever. Well, they just beat him. They excuse me. They were able to utilize in different positions. I mean, their defense was incredible. You know, the three-headed monsters on Shaq. Rodman was a problem. Jordan and Pepper was swarming. Ron Harper, Kukoc. So I mean, they got a lot out of their players. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like Penny had some kind of year where he was robbing what Steph Curry did in 2016. Let's not get crazy now. Or what Shaq did in 2000 or some others. He had a great year, but let's not get crazy with it. 70% says no. 30% says yes. That's more like it. But thank you for the people who are voting. I know the common sense was gonna kick in because ain't no way in the world Garth Brooks was gonna. And he's had quite a career too. Quarterback's gonna get that because that's kind of rare. And it depends what running back we're talking about. You have to be a dynamic running back where people will care about that. They still talk about OJ. They'll still talk about Jim Brown doing it. They'll talk about if Walter Payton had done it. It depends on Eric Dickerson. Depending on which back we're talking about that does it. But a quarterback who does the 6 and the 400, that's going to be front page all the time. Makes no difference. That's the standards right there. Yeah, I remember. I was around when them Bulls teams when they won with what they did, and getting Robin was one of the steals of the centuries. And you're never gonna hear me say anything different. One of the smartest moves ever. 25 votes, 64% saying no. Okay. That was hilarious. But you see, what happened was Ryman ticked off the good old folks in San Antonio. That's what that was about. And if we want to get rid of you, we'll sell you for a pack of nail laters and a six pack of Coke. Pretty much. Because he had always welcome in San Antonio. They used to do stuff like that. Two things they will can embarrass a great player with: trade their butt to Saudi Arabia, because I always tell Ted about that. Kawhi Leonard in Toronto was a joke. Or they trade you for some scrub that it's like an insult. It's like, you gotta be kidding. I'm traded for who? That's some, they insult you. Yeah, but the way Elijah one served up Dave Robinson and the way the Spurs were playing like politicians, they were happy to be there. And Rodman had won chips and had been to the finals, so he wasn't just some, oh, I'm just happy to be here. That's for Dave Robinson. It was like, yes, gosh, Lee, that's it's a different mindset. Different mindset. Dennis Rodman to me is like the basketball version of Ricky Henderson. Guys like that can almost fit anywhere they go as long as they're motivated, structured. Because there's only a few guys like that. He never gets his due. When we talk about who the smartest players ever, it you have to have a certain amount of high attack to know how to supplement your body and take that pounding, utilize it, and compartmentalize yourself, and then become so psychologically superior they can't move you off the post. They can't move you. This is funny. If it ever came out that way, but do you think it's ever going to come out where he gets treated the same? My limited. So I followed him out of Tennessee. I remember when he came out back in '89, and he was huge in the '90s. Yeah, he played hard. He really gave up to you. That's what Rodman did. But oh no, if you say Garth Brooks is Diddy, that's a whole nother side to him. I don't know. He did. He always kept himself in top tier shape, sharp as a whip. At their prime, you talking about their prime against each other at their best? He did sound like one, didn't he? Telling her, you need to come to our world. I said, I guess you ain't listened to Kendrick, huh, Luke Braun? You gonna tell a woman, and see, this is what makes me so mad. Okay, Jay, well, give me a moment. I think I'm gonna take George Foreman in about 13 rounds, but it would be a heavy, because Foreman could fight like that. Let me address this Luke Braun thing. I can't stand it when people make me defend people that I'm not even a fan of. But I had to go defend Beyonce. She been around 30 years. That's this child's solo career. And this cat, if that wasn't loaded, I don't know what was. He said it though. Your album is nice, but why don't you come over to our world? We like you, but you're not good enough yet. Come on over here. I'm like, the audacity of this guy. That's what they think of him. It's loud and clear. Who's defending him? Because I haven't been on to see who's defending Luke Braun. I know I've only seen like Dolly Parton justify the shutout. I haven't seen anything. Who's defending him? Well, of course he would. That's like clockwork. He don't even know what he's defending. He'll just say whatever it is just to sound like. And I tell him all the time it's music. It's not played the right way either. 62% saying no. Okay. That's the sad part. And then those cats wonder why people look at them side eye and crazy. You're doing a style of music which is already part of your DNA, but you done allowed it to be stumped down. Make it make sense, Darius. I mean, that's how bad it is. Yeah. But see, they don't mind it. They allow themselves to be psychologically conditioned to tolerate it. I think I'm gonna be on for 24 more minutes because I want to do an hour and a half. So 24 more minutes. Let's keep it going. Because they're not safe in Nashville. They don't have an outlet. It's just a spot, and they've had to allow themselves to be used like that. That's what's up. And it had to be a certain way to get things through. It wasn't gonna be easy, and they're not making it easy for themselves. But that's what they've allowed themselves to be. Sad reality. Yep. It's a sad commentary about Nashville. Sad commentary. 29 votes so far. 59% say no for. Interesting. No, the game isn't always clear cut. Jaden Daniels is nice for round be rookie of the year, and their offense is on point. The defense is suspect, but their offense is legit. Dallas is just not that good, and Philadelphia needs to get rid of their coach. That's simple as that. Well, it depends. Again, it's like I was addressing teared up really about Bo Jackson. I think that some of them do play into type. Some do play into type. Darius Rucker been called everything under the sun, so he's tolerant of certain things. His temperament. So yeah, well, the Angel Reese thing has got people twisted too. Mhm. But she deserved one vote. There is no shame with it. They have no shame with it. Well, he got fired because he wanted. You do know why he got fired in part, right? He was pushing Jalen Hurt. They wanted Carson Wentz, and Nick Foles was the odd man out. So what ended up happening is he was stuck with three quarterbacks when he couldn't really level one, and then it took its toll on the team. That's what happened because he was pushing for Jalen Hurt because he knew Carson Wentz was done. Yep. And they was pushing Hurts, but then they had the conflict of Nick Foles, and that made that a mess. What a problem to have. Yeah, because you know that would find out how the people really would feel about her if she pulled that, and not just anyone. It's got to be some cat that's scary. She could, she could. I don't know about that, Prism Mike. I don't know about that. That's cold. Somebody will get her. Somebody will get. Hey, look, she got some money. She got popularity. Somebody work hole up there. I'm not gonna even argue with that because it is a script, and the corporate ran as a certain way. It's oh, that's funny. I'm cracking up. I could see that in my head too. Back when, especially when Jim Carrey was living color days, especially that '90s era. Oh, you're too cold, too funny. I'm not quiet. And what are you trying to say? You up here trying to start something? If you're gonna come here implementing stuff about Garth Brooks, which you'll have no proof of, then you gotta explain yourself. And if you're trolling, I gotta get you out of here. And we have a polite conversation going. You ain't finished nothing. They did. I can't stand when people come in here and they wanna shuffle something and they ain't got no proof, ain't bringing nothing. Since you got so much information about Garth Brooks, won't you share it with everybody? Since you're so privy, feel free. I said, since you got so much to say about Garth Brooks, won't you say something about it? Because I can't hear you either. You talking in riddles. You got something to say about Garth Brooks? Say it. You talking in riddles. I gotta get you out of here. Can't have nobody in here talking in circles and ain't saying nothing. If somebody got something to say about Garth Brooks, feel free to say it. Yeah. We all have had WNBA players we like. We've all liked them. Scarlett Diggs was nice. Candace was bad. Rebecca Lobo was bad too. Mm. Keep on hitting those likes up. Please continue to hit those likes. And I got rid of troll action. Again, we make sure we devoid ourselves of any of the nonsense unless you're bringing facts and receipts and you got something to say. But I'm not down with the trolling. If you don't like an artist, that's fine. Hmm. Yeah, but see, the problem is with the Floyd thing, the Garth Brooks thing, is like, what will they do with that? I know they're gonna have 15 different brothers lined up, but when you hear about Garth Brooks, you're like, okay, what we're gonna do about this? Especially, I did cover it, and he's got that hook up in Vegas. That ain't gonna happen. And I think you know how that story turned out with her too, so it ain't gonna happen. But I understand where you're coming from. I understand. 58% says no. The votes are still pretty high too. Yeah, I think we all kind of liked it a little bit. Yeah, she was cool. Yeah, as long as NYY beat KC, what a team to knock them off of it. It happened. You talking about the Yankees and the Royals? I'm kind of confused. Got 33 votes in, so that's really great. keep on hitting the likes and keep on hitting the likes. See a little love going on, so feel free to, come on back now. People got quiet again. Okay. In the playoffs? Oh, I'm going. Oh God. Oof. That's a tough one, Jay Will, because Eli's the only one who should be able to. Eli start, bench Big Ben, and cut Drew. Just in that order. They better. Because there's no Kansas City to worry about, so you better. That's a good one, Jay Will, but it's not that hard. It's actually in that order. Because Breezy has been kind of hit and miss in the postseason. Big Ben has too, but he came up with some big cat patches, passes. He don't really show me much in the postseason, and he gagged in San Diego and he gagged in New Orleans. Yeah, I'm not big on him. His stat pattern. Listen, I think Breeze came up with some big numbers, and but it's kind of overinflated, tad bit overinflated to me. That's just me. What do I know? I'm just not the biggest Breeze. I think Breeze had a great statistical career. Kind of look at him like I do Steve Nash for his size, but all right. Appreciate you coming through. Thanks for coming through tonight too. I'm leaving, but I got about 13 more minutes. I'm on for about 13 more minutes. Yeah, I expect the Yankees better do it. This is a biggie. Appreciate everyone that comes through tonight. Continue voting, continue hitting that like too. It's doing pretty good tonight. All things considered, because like I said before, been on for over an hour. And feel free to keep on hitting the likes and stuff. I'm waiting for people to keep on coming through. Yeah, I know what his record is in the playoffs. He hasn't been that memorable. Not that memorable. You know, some guys are not postseason savers. It's gonna be tough because if he don't get hurt, but if he has another boo boo game like that against a Denver type of team where he gets stomped, they could be in for a long, problematic situation. Wins are gonna be hard to come by when you don't score a lot of points. It can go either way. It's gonna be tough this year though. Only because the division is not that tough aside from the Bills. But there's no give me games. Not the way they lost at home to the Broncos. There's no give me games. Maybe they play New England, but against a high potent offense, you know, they could, but they could be 8-9, 9-8, somewhere like that. So I'm just keeping it 100. Anybody out there, feel free to keep on chatting. Let me know what you got. We're up to 36 votes now. We got 56%. No, 44. That's really close. That's pretty close. Pretty close. Appreciate everybody that's participating. That's cool. Okay, now, if everybody's gone quiet on me. If I don't get any response in the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'll call it a night because I need people to participate and see where you are. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. Yes, I remember that one. Okay. Got 2 or 3 more minutes. I'm gonna see if anybody comes through. It's gotten quiet again, so and I don't wanna be prolonged if people don't show up because it's important that we have conversation and dialogue. So join the obvious with the feedback and everything. So more people coming through. Feel free to join on in. Got something to say? Come on through. Come on through. Looks like somebody people gone quiet. People gone ghost. I'm on here for a few more minutes, and because if I don't get any more responses, I will definitely close it up. I'll give it a few more minutes. We'll see what we're working with. Appreciate everybody that's come through so far tonight. I guess it's Friday night. The weekend plans are coming, and we're in the first week of October. You got college football. You got preseason NBA coming soon. You got Major League Baseball playoffs. You got the NFL. So a lot of stuff going on. Okay, just waiting to see if anybody comes through. Talking the last 2 or 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes. Appreciate everyone that did come through and everyone that is coming in. Welcome aboard. Continue to hit the like. And if you don't want to watch this live and don't want to participate, you can always go back and watch it again. Feel free to donate and make suggestions and welcome people that come through. It's always good that you come through. So, okay. A couple minutes, couple minutes. I'm going to cut it short because I don't know if there's a lack of communication or not, but we're going to cut it short. Did get almost an hour and a half out and was glad everyone come through. I'll be coming back probably sometime in next week. I like it when I see good participation because that definitely gets me motivated. And I see a couple more likes came up, so that's definitely good and needed by all means. Communication is key. So we got a couple of people on, so continue to hit the like. See people participating. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes. Want people out eating dinner tonight? What you cooking? What you doing? See what we got. think everything pretty much went quiet. So, all right. I don't want to get caught talking to myself unless someone wants to come back. I see a couple people still on and waiting to see if anyone's going to come one more time. And if I don't see it, I think got one more person was coming through. We had a pretty good night though. Peaks and valleys. So. Yeah, it depends on what people are doing. I think that with the weather and conditions, you got different extremes. So, see what we're dealing with. I did say I wanted to do an hour and a half, so I'm almost there. I'm gonna go ahead and make it even hour and a half, and then I'll call it a night. There was a lot going on the last couple of weeks, and of course, getting through John Amos and Tito Jackson, and more Diddy news, and Edgar Brooks, and Suge Knight's story, baseball playoffs starting, NBA media day, college football every Saturday, NFL, getting the week 4 about some craziness there. So, a lot to keep you up on, staying abreast about everything. About anyway, like I always say, when people come through, I'll know, and then we'll make adjustments. Okay. Well, again, I appreciate everyone that came through tonight. And stay blessed, stay well, stay focused, stay real, stay true, stay honest, stay you. And then you got thoughts and comments. Anybody wants to join membership, donations, everything is always welcome. I put everything back into the production of everything here, and then we're looking to keep it going strong and welcome it all. So thank you for coming through. Stay blessed, stay focused. Have a great night. We'll catch you next time really soon. I'm out.